up the light frequencies in front of me, and then it sends them to a chip inside my skull that then transforms the light frequencies to vibrations, and then these vibrations travel through my bone, and then I hear different notes for each vibration in my inner ear. So it's literally an antenna that allows me to hear the sounds of color. My name is Harbisson, and I'm an artist, and I have an antenna implanted in my head that allows me to hear colors. I came to give a talk at AAL about how we can extend our senses by incorporating cybernetics to our body, and just to share my experience of hearing colors through this antenna implant. At the beginning it was 6 colors that it detected, and when my brain got used to the 6 colors, it went to 12, then to 24, then to 48, until I was able to distinguish 360 different microtones in an octave. So that's how precise it is. It goes from, for example, from red to orange, there's 30 microtones, so 30 different shades of red to orange, and then from orange to yellow it's 30 microtones again. So it's a sense that I can continuously extend, because then there's the infrareds and the ultraviolet that I can also keep adding more and more. So that's, I guess, the advantage of having an antenna that allows me to extend my color perception through the ear. So the antenna picks up the light frequencies in front of me, and then it sends them to a chip inside my skull that vibrates depending on the light frequencies, and these light frequencies become audible to my inner ear, so then I can hear different notes for different colors. Then there's also internet connection, so I can receive colors from other parts of the world or from satellites, so it allows me to extend my perception of color beyond my surroundings. And I'm using now the internet as a sense that allows me also to hear the colors from space. Drawing someone's face, for example, I can write down the notes of the colors of someone's face and then create a sound portrait of someone. So it's given me now the option of create art where the sound is visualized or where vision is heard. So the antenna not only picks up visual colors, it also picks up infrareds and ultraviolet, so it goes beyond the visual spectrum, and it also has internet connection, so I can receive colors from other parts of the world or from satellites. So it allows me to extend my senses through the internet. I was born completely colorblind, so since an early age I had a huge interest in sensing color because I couldn't see it, and I wanted to have an independent sense for color. I didn't want to modify my sight, because to me seeing black and white has some advantages, and I didn't want to modify my hearing because I wanted to hear normally, so I wanted to have a new sense for color. And then I started this project in 2003 in order to create a new sense for color, and therefore also a new body part to receive the colors. So now I feel a closer connection to nature, because I can sense natural elements that I couldn't perceive before, like infrared is a natural element that I can now sense. Also ultraviolet, for example, allows me to know if it's a good day or a bad day to sunbathe. Also I feel closer to other animal species that can sense these colors. I also feel closer to dolphins, because dolphins can hear through bone conduction. And I feel closer to insects as well, because they have antennas. So I feel a closer relationship now with other animal species, and a closer relationship with nature and to space as well, because now I can feel that my senses are in space when my body is here. So it's changed the way I perceive not only my identity, but also the world I live in. To have the antenna implanted, I had some trouble, because the bioethical committee said that this was not ethical because it went beyond sight, and also because they were worried about the image the hospital would have if someone came out of the hospital with an antenna. So I had to find a doctor willing to do the implant outside the bioethical committee, and then I found one, and the surgery took place in Barcelona, and it took 4 hours. There's basically 4 implants, 2 for the antenna, 1 for the chip, and 1 for the internet connection. So it's 4 different things, and first this hair was removed, and the skin was reduced, and then the skull was drilled, and then it took 2 months for the antenna and the chips to merge with the bone, and now it's just permanently attached. So this new sense has changed in many ways my daily life as well. For example, before I would dress in a way that it would look good, but now I dress in a way that it sounds good. So I wear different notes. For example, this bow tie sounds G-sharp major, and this, for example, is different melodies, so there's different notes Also, my house has been painted in a way that it also sounds good. Like my living room sounds C major. The walls are pink, yellow, and blue, which sounds harmonious. Also, the floor is all red because it gives a deep sound to the whole house. The ceilings are black and white because that's silent. And the kitchen is violet because it's high pitch, so it keeps me alert. The way I perceive food has also changed because now when I eat I can listen to the food. So for example, salads are very musical because there's many notes there. So I can actually distribute the food on a plate and eat my favorite song because I can compose music. So I'm doing a project with a restaurant now where we'll have a menu where people will be able to choose what song they want to eat, and then there will be a plate player in the restaurant, and then they'll be able to hear the sounds of the colors through this plate player with an antenna. I think we are now in an age where we can extend our senses through technology, so this will actually change many things in society. Like we'll soon be seeing people with new senses and new body parts as something normal. I think now this is the transition era where wearable technology is becoming normal, but the next stage is that we will physically become technology. In general, nowadays most people are not used to seeing people with new body parts. So in my case, having an antenna does create a lot of situations in society. Some people react positively, others don't, and it's still something that it hasn't really changed in the last 10 years. It's still, social reaction hasn't really evolved, I feel, but I feel that maybe in the next few decades it will slowly become more normal to see people with new body parts. Going through customs and immigration is a nightmare because that's a context where technology is not acceptable. They don't like technology in these places, so when you are technology then they hate you. So I do have some troubles there, but the advantage is that I have a passport with a photograph with the antenna, so if I show them the passport they have to accept the antenna as my official image, and therefore as officially being part of my body. Well, since I appear sometimes in press, some people read it and they get it in the wrong way, and they think that we are trying to go against humanity or against God or against nature. And some people get it as very offensive, and they threaten me that they will do anything to go against us, and it's something that I think it's mostly due to press, that they write articles in a way that they're a bit well, they try to say things in different ways, and then they read these articles, and then people get scared, and then they send death threats, and that's something that really hasn't been happening since the very start. But for the last 2 years, these death threats are a bit more. I feel they're a bit more serious. So I do think about it quite often, because you never know how I don't know. There's people that are. Some people are very strongly against all this because they find it anti-natural, anti-God. I have a UK passport, but they didn't allow me to renew it because they saw that in my picture there was an electronic device, they said. And there's a law that says electronic devices are not allowed on passport photos. So I replied to them saying that this was not an electronic device, but a new body part and an extension of my senses, and that they should allow it as part of my official image. I explained to them that I felt cyborg, which is I felt that I was a union between cybernetics and my own body, and then they replied saying no again. So I kept insisting, and in the end they said yes after a few months. I guess they got tired, and then they allowed me to appear in the passport with the antenna, and this helps a lot in situations where security guards or police just try to understand what this is. If they see it in my passport, they have to accept it. So the next step for me with the antenna is I would like it to move independently. So if I think left, it should move to the left, and if I think right, it should move to the right. And that's the next step as a body part. But then as a sense, I would like to have a permanent connection to space. So I would like to use the internet as a sense and have a permanent connection to either a satellite or 2 cameras facing the sun. And this would allow me to have hear the sound of space through the internet, and then hear the sounds of the colors of of Earth through the antenna, so it would be kind of stereo vision. In 2010, Moon Ribas and I created the Cyborg Foundation, which is an international organization that wants to help people extend their senses by applying technology to their body, also defend cyborg rights, the right to have surgery, the right to appear in passports if the technology is on the passport photo, and also promote cyborgism as an art movement, so the art of creating your own senses and then expressing yourself through new senses.